Alright, what is good, friends? Today I'm going to show you how to make an indie or alternative R&B beat. So let's just get straight into it. Alright, so first thing, because somebody always asks, BPM. I'm going to use a BPM of about 124 here, but I would really just recommend picking out a song you like and going with a BPM similar to that. Now, the first instrument you're going to want to use is some sort of guitar. I just have my guitar that I recorded right here. I'm going to show you how you can get a similar sound with a VST as well. So here's the guitar that I have to get us started here. And it's actually really simple to create something similar with a VST. So all you'll need to do is open up some sort of guitar VST. So I'm just gonna be using this guitar sound from my new bank Nebula, and it's called Invader. Now what you need to do here is insanely simple. So first you wanna build just any major chord that you're gonna wanna add an additional note to make it a major 7. So then I'm just gonna grab this and drop it down 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we're not done yet because it's not gonna sound like a guitar. Doesn't really sound like a guitar, because if you take a real guitar, you're never hitting all of the notes at the exact same time. You're strumming it. So first thing you'll need to do here is strum these. And you can do Control A and Alt S, quickly do it, but oftentimes to me it doesn't sound very good. It's like if we listen to this right here, and it just sounds not good. What I like to do instead is I'll go to this magnet tool, just do something like 1/4 a beat or half a beat. So already sounding way better. You can just copy this one over here, drop this down 5. Now to get that kind of strumming effect, when I'm repeatedly strumming it, you gotta do that here as well. Something like this right here. And you can kind of play around with it and make different rhythms. Not like that though. That sounded bad, but you get what I'm saying. Now next from there, what I like to add for my kind of indie or alternative beats is synths. Really easy way to kind of build on the synth pattern is to get 2 different synths. So I've got 2 more from my bank Nebula. This one's called A Place to Explore, and it sounds like this. So that synth is playing the same chorus from before, and then it's leaving some space in between right here. I took this other sound from the bank called Dark Galaxy. It's like a really cool kind of spacey synth pluck sound. And I just put this sound kind of halfway between the other chord, and so we can hear it better, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pan it kind of hard for this sound right here. So the second sound you can barely hear, but it almost acts as, I don't know, like almost a percussive kind of texture. Now the next thing that you can do, I'm just probably going to use my guitar, maybe I'll do this as well, is keep going up the scale and adding additional notes. So that's what I just did right here to kind of create a little bit of a melody. And then I just added a sound from Arcade. And if you want a free month in Arcade, there's a link in the description for that. When I combine these 2 things together, it gives it a cool vibe. You can probably just barely hear the arcade element. Just that little sound. I feel like that little touch sounds cool. Now what I actually did was I kind of just created a little top melody with the guitar, so I'll just show you how that sounds real quick. Probably need to clean this up a little bit, but honestly I just started playing guitar. But like really trying to focus on it a little bit more. It's not like my main thing, I just want to be able to use it in my beats, to be honest. Alright, next we got drums and bass, which are very important for these types of beats because they're, you know, half of the beats. And I'm gonna show you some techniques that you can use to make them sound a lot more realistic and authentic. But there are things with NFL that you can do that will make them sound significantly more realistic. Alright, so first let's throw down a bass line. You can make it complicated. I want something chill for this vibe though. So I'm just using the root notes of the chords, which is just the bottom note. We look here, I'm just moving these up an octave towards the end of each bar, just to kind of keep it interesting so it's not just one note, but let's give it a listen. And here you can use a real bass or a synth bass if you want. Here's how it sounds with a synth bass. And this one is also from Nebula, which is really cheap on my website. So if you did like these sounds, definitely go check it out. It's only gonna be on sale for a little bit longer. I got that bass right there. So kind of a different vibe, up to you on what you want to use. All right, so now onto the drums, which I'm going to do in a separate pattern, and I'll explain why in a second. But let's just kind of speed run these drums real quick. All right, so I'm going to use my kit demo, which actually recorded a lot of live drums because I brought a drum set and then I returned it. Don't worry, it was still in good condition. I like something simple, kind of repetitive like this. Like cool and interesting percussion sounds and whatnot are super common in these types of beats. I just got this little drum loop right here. So just find some sort of percussion loop and be really nice for these types of beats. I'm using kind of a more R&B, just like regular R&B kick. I think that's what kind of helps make it indie R&B. All right, but now into those drum tips that I've been promising that make your drum sound a lot more realistic and real. Step one, there's a few steps to this. Step one is to use the swing function right here. What that does is it makes it so everything's not being played perfectly on time because drummers in real life are not robots, so they're not perfectly in time. And I don't like to overdo it here because if you turn it all the way up, then it kind of can just sound a little bit too off. Now, next thing I like to do is I'll take all of my drum sounds, highlight them right here, route them to this, center my kick, and I'll select all of them. Make sure you select all of them like this. Right click on this little arrow, and then go to route to this track only. And what this is gonna do is it's gonna create a drum bus where we can add effects that will affect all the drums at once. First thing I want to do is just use some sort of compressor. I'm gonna use this free one I got from UAD, and I'm gonna kind of compress these a lot. And And then the next thing I'm going to do, that just kind of squishes them together. I just like how compressed drums sound. And yeah, that's all you do. Just click this arrow while this is selected your drum bus. And then we're gonna add some reverb. And the reason we're doing it on here is so we can control the reverb a lot better. And you're just hearing the effects versus it just being on all the drums, which can oftentimes really make the kick sound super weak, which we don't want. And of course we can take the kick off of this, but now I'm just probably confused with the people. So here's it at the max. Now I'm just gonna go in and pan some of these drums so it sounds, you know, more like a drum kit, but don't worry too much about this sort of thing. Now all together, here's how it sounds. Anyways, thank you for watching. Check out this video right here. Just watch it.